When did the right become such f***ing pussies?
Pam Bondi should be thankful Epstein is dead, because the toddler-esque temper tantrum she threw in Congress today would have had Jeffrey trying to traffic her.
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me
Yeah,
anything.
I did tell you, because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency.
Sorry for the off-color intro, but I am pissed today, and you should be too. The criminal incompetence of Donald Trump's Department of Justice was on full display today, as Attorney General Pam Bondi just completely folded under pressure and then crashed out as members of Congress from both sides of the aisle slammed her cover-up of the Epstein files to her face.
You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice.
And one of the most telling moments of this entire shit show of a hearing was when Representative Jayapal asked the Epstein victims present in the room to raise their hands if they still had not been asked to meet with Bondi or the Department of Justice, and every single one rose their hands.
To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand. And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Please know for the record that every single survivor has raised their hand. Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
And what do you think Pam Bondi did? Acknowledge the survivors? Apologize? Take it on the chin and respond like a grown adult? No. Watch as she crashes out like, excuse the French here, a fucking pussy-ass and unironically calls the line of questioning theatrics before throwing a hissy fit and putting on one hell of a show herself.
Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi,
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a
General,
specific question
Attorney General
that I
can
would
respond to your
like
question.
you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the
my
answer.
time.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't
a
she ask
question.
Merrick Garland this?
I am
Twice
reclaiming
when he
my
sat in
time,
my
and
chair.
when I
will
reclaim my
continue to
time,
answer.
it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's
I'm
I'm
reclaimed her
not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady.
You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say
I'll
this.
direct it to
What a
you.
massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is
I'm not
interrupting.
going to get in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing theatrics.
and let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final
Thank you.
17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only
Regular
to
order.
then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Ghislaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level
Chairman,
The chair now recognizes the chair.
on what you have done.
The time of the gentlelady
yield
expired.
back.
The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back.
Theatrics.
We appreciate that. We appreciate the thought.
Real quick, fuck James Comer for that snide comment at the end there. But as much as that clip makes my skin crawl and my blood boil, there is so much more and so much worse to get to. I will save my passionate rant till the end. I know I've already been ranting passionately. Here's a clip of Pam Bondi yet again getting caught lying under oath.
Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got your
released.
answer. You said there's no
President
evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman,
that
please
the
stop the
Congress
clock.
sign
Stop the clock.
the legislation. This is
I'd like to reclaim my
Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a
I
crime.
believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you, here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and the officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
The gentleman has expired.
Can you feel the rage building up? Because I sure can. Here is Bondi responding to a question about why she has not indicted any clients of Jeffrey Epstein, you know, the ones she claimed didn't exist. And in response, she takes a chip off the old block of the dementia-ridden pedo-in-chief and deflects by going on an unhinged rant about the stock market.
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Setting aside the fact that she didn't answer the question at all, that monster just touted the stock market. You know, the thing that famously enriches the wealthy, powerful men in the Epstein files and protects them from investigation or prosecution for the morally heinous, at minimum, and criminal at worst activities documented in the files she's covering up? Let me ask you something. What does your 401k look like? Do you have assets in the market that would get you a private island in the Caribbean to traffic minors for you or for your friends that can afford the private jet to take them there? If not, and you're defending this administration for their handling of the files, wake up or get the fuck out, because you're the reason we're losing the class war. More on that in a second, because I have a fucking good rant about those people and I want to get it out. But first, listen to Jamie Raskin tear Pam Bondi a new one as her soul seems to leave her body in a moment of recognition that she may spend the rest of her miserable life in prison, only for her to then double down and crash out on him in a truly pathetic display.
That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos in the Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements in there, and you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff. In the half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment, and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names, which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends. But you published their names, their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal, you acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty towards more than 1,000 victims raped, abused, and trafficked. This performance screams cover up. You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I
anything,
did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
It is so unfathomably stupid to me that the same people who needed zero evidence to go on a conspiratorial tirade about Pizzagate and QAnon think that because the fraction of heavily redacted by Trump's Justice Department Epstein files we have don't directly reference Trump committing a crime. They still can't put two and two together at this point. Nobody on either side, except the boot-looking brain-rot propagandists over at Fox News or other alt-right mainstream media outlets, think these files were handled properly. But the intellectual dishonesty of defending Donald Trump despite how close he was to this whole situation, or how much he clearly knew, engaged in, or at least was tangentially aware of and did nothing to stop, but actually significantly benefited from, on top of his creepy comments about girls and women and his own daughter, on top of his past criminal behavior. It's so reality-breakingly stupid to defend that man that I think anyone who does should just go live in their happy little MAGA augmented reality simulation for the rest of their miserable lives and let the rest of us fix this broken as fuck system and society. And for those in the middle, I think it's time to wake up and recognize this. There are so many people who just don't have the time, willingness, or mental capacity, arguably by design in many cases, to actually be as informed about things as they should, especially when major media outlets, even the not Fox News ones, paint everything as both sides issues and give airtime to pretty shit takes, even when it's not directly lying or propaganda like Fox. These are your independent or your apolitical types that just don't have time for politics, or they can't change anything, so why should they care? And then you add in them getting sucked into these echo chambers that I'd argue a large portion of these people are not aware that they're being funneled into. And it's just a cacophonous shit show of misinformative dribble that completely dilutes any real understanding of what's going on, which again, as evidenced clearly in the Epstein files, and Steve Bannon strategizing with Epstein for Trump and MAGA's rise, is entirely by design. You've been played. You fell for it. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, don't get fucking fooled again. And I would argue that being skeptical and adequately informed is one of the largest and most consequential forms of peaceful protest possible. I apologize for coming off preachy. I don't apologize for my passion, because I am sick of this. I am sick of this system, and I am sick of the people in power that have enabled it for decades now. People on the right, I'm begging with you. Hear me out. See the points here. Donald Trump hasn't fixed the economy. Donald Trump has protected these pedos. Oh, but the Democrats, why didn't the Democrats release the files? Well, and I'm going to hold your hand as I say this to you, because prior to Donald Trump's administration, there was a thing called separation of powers. You might remember it as one of the core principles this country was fucking founded on. If not, maybe it's time to open up a history book. Although if you don't know that at this point, you probably need Hooked on Phonics first. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, but take my hand again. Under Joe Biden, Merrick Garland was the Attorney General. Am I pissed that he didn't release these files? Absolutely. Are other Democrats pissed? Absolutely. But before you reach to that reptilian part of your brain and just throw out Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, remember that there's a simple argument for why it didn't happen and why Joe Biden and the Democrats aren't entirely at fault. And I'm not a fan of the Democrats personally. But prior to Donald Trump, the executive branch and the judicial branch were supposed to be separate entities and were for a large part. Joe Biden did not want to come off as doing what Trump did and dismantling all of the core principles of our Constitution that you guys really love to defend and then instantly shit on all the time. And so he didn't push Merrick Garland and make the Department of Justice essentially a branch of his executive. Can you say the same for Trump? You guys complained for years about how Trump was being victimized by the weaponization of the Department of Justice. It was all over Fox News. You guys had a field day with it. Despite the fact that all of his criminal cases had verdicts handed down by grand juries. I'm sorry to give you this tough love, but you guys have become the snowflakes and the cancellation people that you so complained about previously.
When did the right become such f***ing pussies? When? Remember what you hated about liberals? Oh, perpetually offended, safe spaces, censoring free speech, culture of victimhood. Remind you of anyone? I can't go 15 minutes without listening to country music. I need a separate show. Oh, that skier triggered me. I can't sleep.
And you've been so brainwashed by the type of identity politics that Steve Bannon literally told Jeffrey Epstein were needed to rehabilitate his image and allow him to get away with this stuff and get Donald Trump in power, that you've completely lost sight of the side that you should be fighting for. That being the side of the people, the working class, the non-billionaire pedophile elites. Is that really the hill you want to die on? Or have you sunk so far that you will now bootlick for Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplices? Please fucking ask yourself that. It's despicable and disgusting, and I really hope those people come around. Because this is on the US Democratic Socialist channel, there's no fucking way those people will see it because that little bitty buzzword is too scary for them. Oh, fuck! Jesus Christ, if you made it this far, if you fucking care anymore, if you're tired of this shit, I don't care where you are on the political spectrum, just fucking help us out here. Let me know your thoughts, leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to US Democratic Socialists and our parent channel, Really American. Because the only way we win this is together, collectively. If you are tired of the traditional means of voting your conscience or calling your elected representatives not working, not making any real difference, then join the resistance here to keep it peaceful but be powerful by being informed, by not falling prey to the bullshit facades and psyops and brain rot that these people are throwing at us day in and day out. We can disagree about a lot of stuff, but this. Anyway, for US Democratic Socialists and Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you guys in the next one.